Hello, chat. No need to wait anymore. I'm here. I have arrived. By the way, I've been playing Aliens, Colonial Marines. No, it's not Colonial. The Dark Descent, right? What is it called? Hold on. Alien, Dark Descent, right? Um, if you haven't played it, I will describe it to you. The voice acting is kind of derpy. The gameplay isn't really that good. It is due to the fact that it's supposed to be kind of like a stealth game, but in most cases you're not really allowed to stealth. Like the enemy is literally between you and the objective. If you try to weld the door, the enemy just barges in. So it's like most of the gameplay isn't really designed for what it's supposed to be. The gameplay is repetitive as well. Like after you get to a certain level, it's kind of like boring. So why do I like it? Like why would I say that it's a good game despite all of these flaws? The reality is that it actually maintains the vibe of the original IP and treats the original IP with respect. And I'm like, how hard is that though? Like, how hard is it in 2024 to just make a video game? Like, if you choose to make it based off an IP, how hard is it to just like focus on maintaining the same spirit and the same vibe? And if you do, you're going to get rewarded. Like, I gotta say, I got the game from a friend, if you know what I mean. I didn't purchase it, but after I played it, I was like, you know what, this game deserves my purchase, and I actually bought it. So, yeah, I mean, this is what you get if you just want to take my money. If you're a greedy corporation reaching out to me with a good product, I will give you my money. Let's see if this increases or decreases my depression today. Well, I don't know. It's, we'll see. RoboCop Rogue City. I haven't played it yet. I heard it's good. But I can only play one game at a time. I don't have that much time on my hands. So I'm taking it slow. Look at Pal World. Holy shit. Yeah, it's not fucking rocket science, right? Just like, give the market what they want, and in exchange they give you what you want. They give you cash. But no, we have American companies that are hiring geneticists. It's like, okay, let's take this IP and genetically modify and alter the character, and we turn him African American, and then we take this black woman, and like South Park said, we make her gay, and the market will soy face. They'll be like, ah! But in reality, that doesn't happen. That never transpires. It's like, we need to appeal to the wider audience. Your grandmother who is 87, she is going to play Alien Colonial Marine if we remove the tits from that game. Like, that is what we need to do. We need to remove all of the insensitive jokes, because Hollywood liberal perverts are incapable of being honorary citizens, and they are criminals like Weinstein, right? Because Weinstein can't keep his dick in his pants. We need to remove the sexist jokes from World of Warcraft so your 87-year-old grandmother can log in and enjoy the game. Because then it's for the wider audience, for absolutely everybody, right? Your grandfather, your grandmother is going to play that game, and she's going to pump her pension money into Blizzard, because Blizzard is a good ESG company. We have high ESG score. Despite the fact that we are accused of assaulting sexually our women and our employees, and we have so many lawsuits, our ESG scores is high. We make Klaus Schwab happy. We make Joe Biden happy. The Democrats are excited. The old women in the academia, they're happy as well. Dude, how is this not clown world? How is this not fucking clown world? Can anyone tell me? Jesus. We need more gene splicing humans and less gene splicing video games. I see. Too many rich people with God complex. Ugh, fucking hell. By the way, like, there's this scandal right now. Apparently in Japan, the localizers are telling the developers what to do. I mean, if things keep going the way they are, I wouldn't be surprised if Japanese companies start hiring Hollywood actors and they remove everything that's original from Japanese games and they replace it with like the wider audience shit. I don't know why they keep trying to do the wider audience. What do they have with your grandmother, chat? Why must your grandmother play Yakuza? Why do they keep insisting of going after your grandmother? Why can't they be happy with the audience they already have? Like, they have their little geeks and people with pimples on their faces. Is their money not good enough? Why do they keep going after your grandmother? AAA gaming is starting to crash. Oh, I think it already did crash. I mean, last year, we had four AAA game titles which couldn't work on launch. Like, this is something unheard of, you know? You usually, like, have some games that have bugs and, you know, but at least they're playable. Like, occasionally, I have heard, you know, games like Diablo, for instance. Diablo 3, right? It comes out, servers aren't working. But this is due to the fact that they didn't expect so many new players, right? Like, they didn't expect so many people to play the game, so the servers weren't working. Okay, you know, it can happen. But last year we had Forspoken. We had Gollum. We had, what was it, Redfall? And I think like there was one more. There were like 4 fucking games. Completely unplayable. Like, you need to understand, right? Like, the developers knew that the games are unplayable and they pushed it anyway. That's how much disdain and disrespect they have towards the market. Imagine if you're in a restaurant and they bring you a raw steak. Well, actually, the raw steak can still work, right? Because, like, you can still eat it, theoretically. They bring you, like, a burnt charcoal steak. Like they're aware. Like, the waiter knows that it's unedible. The chef knows that's but they bring it to your table anyway. Why would they do that? Apparently more than 4 games. Yeah, no, like, AAA gaming is crashing. And again, it's the same thing. It's not that they're woke. That's the problem. Is that they hire the best of the woke. And that's not good enough. Best of the woke is below mediocre. Right? These are people who do not know how to code. It's like the European Union, chat. The European Union is the best example of a woke nation. Like, the European Union is last on everything right now. It doesn't innovate anymore when it comes to pharmaceuticals, right? When it comes to drugs. What is the European Union pushing? Almost nothing. I don't know of any drugs that came out recently. Like all the vaccines, they were made in the US, right? When it comes to AI, who's innovating? The United States and China. When it comes to social media, where are all the big social media websites? In the United States and China. The fuck is the EU doing? I'll tell you what it's doing. It's regulating. Oh, you know, when it comes to AI, well, the European Union may not actually create any AI, but they're the first ones that regulated the AI, you know, like they're the first one that drafted regulations. When it comes to social media, the EU is drafting regulation. This is how woke people behave. They can't do shit, you know, they can't code, but let me tell you how to code. Do not use words like master in your coding, because that's offensive. Right? They can't make games, but it's like, don't make sexism. Don't make a sexist joke. Careful with racismus. Literally, this is what these people are doing, right? They can't make shit, but they're really good at criticizing. It's like when you go past a construction area, right? And you see like one person working and 5 people sitting around him. And it's like, oh, no, you don't pick it up like that. Put your back into it. Move a little bit to the left. You need to make sure that you're standing up straight. It's kind of like that, you know, like there's 5 woke people that are telling the one guy how to do his job. And it's true. A watched pot never boils, right? So that's why, like, you can't work at these companies. But my fucking God, like, I actually have many AAA game developers that I speak with. And they told me, like, if they want to add even a single line of code, the bureaucracy is so ridiculous. Normally, it would take them like 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes to add the line of code. But the bureaucracy is to the point where they need a week to get permission to just add a simple line of code in. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, of course you're not going to make games like that. That's not how video games are made, you know? Like, imagine writing a book in that situation. Imagine, holy shit, imagine making your homework when you used to go to school. and you're making your homework, and there's like 5 or 6 people like just constantly criticizing and making sure that your homework is according to the ideology. Yeah, it's the trans stuff as well. It's like, oh, you're a video game developer. Well, we can't create video games, but like, we can regulate. Do not use male and female. That is offensive. Use body type A, body type B. Oh, can you add a little bit of vitiligo into the mix, right? And just remove the boobs, remove the boob sliders. Just make sure that the skin color is... Imagine working like that. Holy shit. These are the people that they hire. They covet these people. They crave for them. It's like... The bosom of the corporation requires these nannies. What can you say? It's... You can't go Pikachu face when you notice that the video games are the way they are. We love to have a video game that goes body type, titties, and vag. You would have gone postal? No, like, I will tell you what is happening, right? Because again, like, I speak with developers, and I generally ask them, it's like, how is it like? How do you cope? And what they tell me is that at some point you just stop caring. Like you go in and you're passionate, right? You're like, oh my god, I'm going to make video games. This is so fucking cool. This is so fucking awesome, right? And it's so soul destroying that you just stop caring. It's like a job. You know, you go to the office, you do what you're told, and you become like a machine. You become like a little robot. Zero passion, zero anything, you know. They're asking you, like, make us a female character. And you do them a female character, and they're like, oh, we don't like the boobs. You know, they're too big. We matured. We're no longer like that. Give her a stronger jawline. And then you draw, like, an ambiguous blob, and it's like, here you go, and then fuck off. And then they're like, oh, that's perfect. Our gamers are definitely going to love us. Oh, the wider audience, your grandmother is going to purchase this. It's what it is, you know? It's just a job. And they can't do anything about it. And the only thing you can do, of course, is just try. The thing is, like, you can't even look for a new company. Because if you look for a new company, you get into the same shit anyway. So you just resign yourself. You resign yourself and you do what you're told, and, you know, it's how you make money. Some of them start their own indie companies. And that's it. I have, like, people who have worked at AAA on my game. It's that level. They have pen names, like, they don't want to go public, like, no one wants to know who they are. But I have some really talented people that are working on my game, and I'm really lucky for that. But that's the situation, right? What can you do? No wonder indies are booming. Yeah, like, indies are doing great right now. Pal World is just like the last example, but let's see. Hades was an excellent indie game. What was it called? The one that I actually enjoyed a lot. Blasphemous, right? Blasphemous, also an excellent indie game. Like, there's a lot of indie games that are coming out. The journalists don't talk about them, right? So the press don't mention them because they don't want to give them attention. Like, the press has become the PR market team of the AAA company, so they don't like, you know, saying, hey, this indie game is actually good. I mean, look how livid the press is at Palworld. They're fuming at it. It's like, oh my god, why are they everywhere? Yeah, Helltaker was a great game. Helltaker, you know, it was free, and many people played it. I actually talked with the guy. I talked with the developer on Twitter. He's got his DMs open. I tried making a, you know, asking for a collab, but I don't think he's interested. Still, right? It is what it is. It's, the incest game, yeah. That one as well. Like it is a good day to be indie. And I know some indie people which are making some really good games. They look like AAA. And I talk with them, and it's like, how many devs do you have? Like, what is your team? And they're like, no, you need like 10 or 20 people, and you work with the Unreal Engine. And they look really good. And, you know, as long as you have the money, it's like to make a 3D game, and it sometimes costs like maybe $2 million, and that's it. Like, you don't need $100 million. You don't need to hire the diversity officers and the environmentalist officers. And no. You just need a team of dedicated, passionate people. To be true, it's difficult working online, right? Working on the internet with people from foreign countries. It's very easy to get fucked, because at any point the person can leave the project and there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's not like having an office and you actually meet the person and you talk with them. So it's more difficult to work over the internet. Many people do not even give their names, so you can't invoice them, so it's not tax deductible, so you end up like having to take all of the expenses yourself. But overall, you know, if you manage to be successful, you can get your money back, and that's the most important thing. I think the last AAA game I played was Witcher 3. There must be like some good AAA games that can... Resident Evil 2 Remake was a good AAA game. Yeah. Baldur's Gate wasn't really that bad. The thing with Baldur's Gate is that you can say you can definitely tell when the wokeness happened. It's around Act 3, right? Like Baldur's Gate 3 was done by the original Lariat team, and they came at the game with passion and soul, which is why Act 1 and 2 is really great. And then it got wokeified, and you have like all the pronoun bullshit and characters that are entirely woke. And Act 3 was unplayable. Like I literally, despite the fact that I had like one of the best gaming rigs that money can buy, I was unable to play Act 3. It was such a buggy mess. Everything froze. My computer was going haywire. Eventually they patched it. Like I think now you can finish Act 3, but even I've been told that once you finish the game, the ending is really boring. Like it's not like the endings of Neverwinter Nights or Fallout, you know, that actually tell you the changes and the stuff that you've been accomplishing. No, this is pretty much like a couple of lines and that's it. There's even an ending where you can piss yourself, apparently. Very progressive. Such wow. So that's pretty much it, you know, like Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, like it was a good game. Gameplay-wise, I really enjoyed it. Story-wise, all the way to Act 2. And many characters that were cringe as fuck. I mean, holy shit, the scene with the vampire in the beginning, like, my god. I don't know why so many people like that character. But he's like, tumbling with you on the ground, and it's supposed to be funny and hilarious. And I'm like, no, it's not. Get away from me. Hello, Aristocratic Cthulhu. Welcome to the show. It's pretty mid ending, but they have worked on it a bit. No, it's shit ending. It's not mid. It's shit. The ending of Baldur's Gate 3 is shit. Act 3 is shit. Act 3 is so fucking boring. The thing is, like, you can notice that Act 1 and 2, the side quests, they connect to the main storyline, and that's kind of cool. Act 3 doesn't connect with anything. Like the Alistair, or whatever the fuck his name is, the vampire, right? Like, his story doesn't tie in with anything else from the primary quest. It's just so weird. The same with Shadowheart. Like, you can completely skip her story. Like, Act 3 is just like side quests for the characters for the sake of them having side quests. You piss yourself because I am scared. I piss myself because I assert dominance. It's more like, if you allow, I think, yeah, if you allow the dark hunger to overtake you, you actually have like a line where you can piss yourself because like you're becoming so feral, you're becoming like completely savage, and you just like relieve yourself. It's like, what the fuck? Unironically, like, you know, a lot of people say that, oh, you know, like, you watch anime, you're such a pervert, you watch anime. And then I look at what the AAA woke people enjoy, right? And it's not even like the bear sex stuff. Abby from The Last of Us, like, journalists consider that to be like one of the most romantic and realistic sex scenes in the game. In video game history. And if you know what's happening in The Last of Us 2, like, you have the Neil Druckmann self-insert, and he literally just bends Abby over and starts fucking her raw. Like there's no foreplay, there's no kissing, there's nothing. It's just like he turns her around and starts ramming her. It's like, if I do that with a real woman, like, she's going to be in huge pain. Like, that is disgusting. That is even worse than you know, like the commercial porn that you see. So anyway, the whole thing there is that they have some disgusting fetishes that is okay. I remember playing, like this was the worst game that I played. So, Wolfenstein, the sequel, right? Wolfenstein, the first game, was kind of okay, I guess. But the sequel, holy fuck. Like, you can definitely see that it was made by socialists, and it's like, oh, we get to have a game where you kill Nazis. That's so great. That, now, there's nothing wrong with having a game where you kill Nazis. I mean, if you do it properly, you get the Man in the High Castle, and that was an interesting show for the first seasons. But in Wolfenstein, you have like this scene where your pregnant wife, right? Your pregnant Jewish wife, I think. Yeah, like she's Jewish. She is into battle with 2 machine guns, throws a grenade, and the guts of Nazi soldiers just spring into the air. And they fall on her, and for some reason she doesn't even have a bra. Like, she's completely naked, right? Like, she's tits out. Do you guys remember that scene? You must remember it, right? Like it's raining with blood, and she is like with her pregnant belly out, and the blood is falling, and all of a sudden the main character takes his shirt off, and they're having sex amongst the corpses while she's pregnant. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck is that shit? It's not titillating, right? It's not fan service. It doesn't add anything to the plot. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, why would a pregnant woman do anything? Like, why would she put herself in danger? Why would she have sex in the middle of the battlefield? Nothing makes sense. It wasn't even funny. It wasn't even Marvel humor. It's like, just like the most disgusting, obscene thing that I have ever seen in my life. Yeah, it's weird, but I'm willing to bet this is someone's fetish. Like, this is like someone that works at that AAA company, and that's why they get their knickers off. Yeah, it's a fetish for these people, right? Like, the thing with anime fan service, because they're like, oh, well, what is the story? How does it advance the plot? It doesn't. It's fan service, right? It just, like, turns the neuron off, and it's titillation. Like, that's fine, right? Titillation is fine. But that wasn't even titillation. Like, that was genuinely, like, just the most bizarre, disgusting thing that I have ever seen. You should have reevaluated your life and stop playing video games. Yeah, but, like, you need entertainment in your life, right? Like, life isn't just about suffering and toiling on the field. You need something. Like, life is already nasty. You need some entertainment. You need to do something that's fun. And that's what I found anime. That was another stupid thing in The Last of Us 2. They have a pregnant doctor, the only person with medical knowledge, and they send her out into active combat. Yeah. Like, the idea of the warrior pregnant woman is something that the woke enjoy. And it's like one of the most bizarre things, because pregnant women do not want to be in combat, right? Like if you look at real life, like you see, a fire and people are running out. The pregnant women are always having their hands on their belly. Because that is the mother instinct. That is the maternal instinct to protect the pregnancy. Right? Like if you will see, like, people running, they usually, like, cover their head, right? Because, like, it's your instinct of self-preservation that when you're in danger to cover your head, right? You don't want to be hit in the head. Pregnant women cover their belly. Right? It just shows that it's the instinctive nature. And the woke are, like, having this fetish of putting the pregnant women into combat. And I see it almost every fucking where. Like, it's a trope for some reason. I don't know why, though. Warrior birthing person. Yeah. I think, like, they even had it before wokeness was a thing. They had it in this sci-fi show that was actually good, Farscape. Yeah, like in Farscape. Didn't that chick give birth under gunfire? And I'm like, when I was watching it, I was actually disgusted by the scene. I was like, why are they doing this? Like, it's not... Like she was in the pain of labor and she was fighting a machine gun. And I'm like, this isn't fun. This isn't, like, exciting. It's like, okay, I guess. There's something philosophically affirming to intersectionality weirdo when it comes to pregnant warrior trope. Yeah, I don't understand it. Alright, so the Mona Lisa. Again, I have noticed that all of this. Well, where the fuck is the Mona Lisa? Hold on. Give me a second. I need to find it. So, Mona Lisa, environmentalists. Alright, so all of this is a circus. Like, the reason that I think it's a circus. First of all, the protesters, quote unquote, are aware that the Mona Lisa is protected by glass. Okay? So, like, literally all they're doing is they're dirtying up the glass, and someone comes with a sponge and cleans the glass, and that's it. Right? So you're not really doing anything. These are absolutely nobodies. Like, no one will remember their faces. No one knows who they are. They're protesting for something that the government agrees with them. Like it's not like, you know, the farmer protests that are actually protesting against the farmers and shit. They're protesting for something, like they're protesting on behalf of the government, I guess. And they're not like asking for specific laws. I mean, the farmer protests, they're asking, it's like, okay, like repeal all of the regulations that you put on us, right? Like that's what the farmers want. These people, like, they don't even know what the fuck they want. Now what's interesting is, and this is what I find absolutely fascinating, is that we live in 2024 where the government has access to everything you post online. I mean, if they want to catch these people, they can. If they want to know who pays these people, they can find out. I mean, most of the transactions are not online. Like someone has to pay these people. They do not spawn from the ether. It's not like one day they decide, hey, I'm going to throw soup on the Mona Lisa, right? So, like, I genuinely don't get the purpose of this. Why are they doing it? What is to gain? You know, the only people that are benefiting from this are the mainstream media, because they're getting clicks, right? Like when the Guardian posts this shit, they're getting clickbait, that's it. They are the only ones that are making money. But like, either than that, I'm still struggling. Like, usually I am able to find out why people are doing certain things, but this just doesn't make any sense to me. The only logical reason that I would have is that maybe the oil companies are paying these people in order to make environmentalists look bad, but I don't think that's the case. Because if it was the case, the media would have reported on it. I think like it was the case for like one group, but you know, once the media found out, like they stopped paying these people. There was like another group that did make sense, and I knew why they were doing what they were doing. It was some leftists that were protesting on behalf of Palestine, and they shut down a couple of important bridges, right, with their little flags and shit. And I knew why they were doing. I mean, I can't know for sure, but I can suspect that they were trying to practice their leftist their leftist activism, right? So, like, if you guys remember during the riots in America, one of the reasons they were so effective was because of Antifa. And there are videos with Antifa explaining their strategy, and they're saying, we're not trying to be reactive, we're trying to be proactive. So reactive is what the farmers are doing right now. The farmers are like upset because of the regulations, so they're taking their trucks and they're going and they're protesting in France, in Paris, and they're protesting in Germany, in Berlin, right? So this is called being reactive. Proactive is when you study from the beginning and you know like where the police is coming from, you know where the stores that are, you know where the important bridges are, right? So you know all this information, and then you're waiting for a reason, right? Like you're already trained, and you already have like the protest down to a T, and now you need something, right? And you have like the George Floyd footage or whatever, and then you go, and despite the fact that the initial protest may be natural, you're going and you're amplifying it, right? That's what Antifa calls pre-active. So in the case of like those groups that were shutting down bridges and shit for Palestine, I think like they were genuinely trying to see how long it takes for the cops to arrive and clear them out, right? so that they can know. It's like, all right, well, it takes like 3 hours or whatever. Because like what they did required ample coordination. Like this wasn't just like five chuckleheads with some flags going and blocking a bridge. No, like this requires coordination. It requires someone to pay for all of this shit. It's incredibly unlikely that the government doesn't know who they are and what they are doing. Again, like the government knows what you're talking about Discord, right? You have AI now that traces everything you do online. The idea that you can have people that are talking without the government knowing is absolutely batshit insane, right? Either that or all of the censorship and all of the stuff that they are doing should be removed because it's useless and doesn't work. But yeah, so I understand why the Palestinian people were doing that, but like what I don't get is why they keep going into a museum and throwing oil or throwing some shit on a painting which can be easily erased. And they're protesting on behalf of the government. It's a Fed PSYOP. What is the PSYOP though? Like, what am I supposed to get? And it's not the Feds because this is in France. To call people on the right who are against progressivism reactionaries, they do that without having to go in museums. I genuinely don't know. It's so weird. It's bizarre. Totally irrational is just a play for attention. By the way, I was also asked, it's like, well, V, why do you support like the farmers blocking the roads, but you don't support like the environmentalists blocking the roads? And it's really different, isn't it? Like, first of all, obviously I do have a bias towards farmers because they feed me every day. I'm one of the people that's on the weird belief that food doesn't sprout from the supermarket. Like, someone actually has to grow the food, and those are the farmers, right? So because of them, I am alive, and I'm really grateful. So yes, I will side with the farmers. But secondly, it is different when you have, like, tens of thousands of people that are going to a protest. Like, when you have tens of thousands of people, they are going to block the road whether they want to or not. Like, you have such a huge number of humans that it is impossible for them not to block the roads, okay? So due to the nature of the vast number, it is understandable. However, when you have like 5 environmentalists that make a human chain and they block a major road artery, that is not them being unable to not block the roads, right? So it's what the Argentinian president is doing, and they're cutting their welfare, and that's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, like, many people say, well, what about their right to protest? And I'm like, but what about my right of freedom of movement? How about that? Why is their right to protest more important than my right of freedom of movement? Like, how would they like it if I took 4 of my friends and I blocked their house, right? Like, I form a human chain with like 2 of my friends in front of their front door and 2 of my friends be on their back door, and we just, like, lock them in their house like that. Would that be normal? I don't think it would be normal. I think the cops would come over there and arrest our asses, right? So like, why is it different then? Not to mention, like, the environmentalists, they're not protesting the government. Like, the farmers are protesting the government. The environmentalists are protesting the people. When you're preventing individuals from going to work, when you're preventing individuals from going to the hospital or from going home, you're basically protesting the people. And by the way, I also don't get why the left doesn't like the farmers. I mean, in France right now, they managed to block most of the roads. It's 0 carbon emissions, isn't it? Like, isn't this what you want? 0 carbon emissions? Well, no one is driving now in Paris. So why aren't they liking that? Isn't that what they want? I thought they want no gas cars. Well, now you can bicycle. If you have a bicycle, you're not going to be impeded by the farmer protest. The museums allow them to do this because they get to play victim and the museum gets publicity and more guests. Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know now. Like, it used to be a thing when it first happened. But now whenever I see it, I just don't even care. Like, normally I don't even read the articles anymore. It's like, oh, they attacked the Mona Lisa. And I'm like, yeah, but it's under glass. It's not like they actually did any damage. So I generally like don't care, and I think like this is the correct way of handling it. Like if you just don't care, they get more upset, right? Take into account that the opposite of love isn't hate. Like hating them is what they want because it's still like a strong emotion. What they don't want is for you to be ignorant, to just not care, not give a shit. You know, unironically, like if they did this while I was at the museum, if I was at the museum and they did this in front of me with the Mona Lisa, I would just keep walking. I would not even acknowledge their presence. I think that would infuriate them the most. You know, if they glue themselves to the wall or whatever the fuck they're doing, and the security guard just pretends they're not there. Like they don't call the cops, they don't call the police, they just allow them to spurg out. That would be funny, wouldn't it? By the way, I think one of them lost a hand. I'm not even kidding. In Germany, they glued themselves to the sidewalk, and they couldn't like they used some sort of substance that they couldn't actually unglue them, and I think like they lost their hand. Let me check. Climate activists gluing themselves to roads causes friction. No, it's not this one. But look at this shit. Look at it. You know, look. How old is this person? How old? Who pay? You know, imagine you're this person's father and you're seeing this. Oh, shameful display. I'm trying to find the article where one of them lost a hand. I think this is the one. Yeah, okay, I found it. Activists in Germany glued themselves to the road and they might need the amputation of hand. I mean, look at it, look.
Entschuldigung, warum du machen das?
Weil unsere Regierung nicht genügend...
Fürs Klima natürlich.
Ah, Klima.
Oh, Klima.
Hier irgendwas.
Klima.
Klimakrise.
Holy shit.
Wie kriegt ihr euch jetzt da wieder ab? Haben die jetzt rausgehabt?
No.
Why did you do this?
Entschuldigung,
Klima.
warum du machen das?
Weil unsere Regierung nicht genügend...
Fürs Klima natürlich.
Ah, Klima.
Oh. I think human stupidity is more dangerous than klima. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is a new religion. That if you look at Catholicism back in the day, there were people that liked to whip themselves. They whipped themselves until they bled, and they thought that this is good because the body is impure, but the soul is sacred. So by punishing the body, you're freeing the soul and other nonsense. How is this any different? Right? When you have like religious zealotry dialed to 11, this is what you get. They were making fun of them. Yeah. Klima. Are those two married yet? I don't know. Imagine if that's your wife and you see her on TV. And she's like, Klima. Oh, natürlich. Oh. Wish the government paid me to be normal. Roadblocks in South Africa are likely to be for robbery. Can you imagine that? Like, imagine how dangerous it is to be a climate activist in a country where highway robberies are a thing, right? Because the driver, if he sees the road blocked, he's not going to think that you're an environmentalist. In before making fun is illegal? Dude. We are living in clown world, but we're not allowed to laugh. Isn't that true though? We are living in cloud world, but we are not allowed to laugh. My God, that is the most philosophical thing that I said all week. Usually I come up with these things when I'm on the toilet, but now it was like on the spot. Difference is the new religion forces the rest of us to participate. They just whip themselves alone. No, like they're not forcing you to they're not forcing you to glue yourself to the street. The old religion, for instance, did you know that they did have like this puritanical movement in the UK where they decided that Christmas is not a time for celebration, it's a time for prayer. So like every Christmas you had to stay in your house and pray alone. Right? It has happened in the past, basically. Like moral busybodyism has existed. Religion has always been a way of injecting someone else's morality up your asshole. That's not really something new. And the same thing with these people with the klima, right? Like the klima, they're constantly like trying to make your life work. The thing that I don't get though, right? And this is where environmentalism makes no sense to me. Religion is like, okay, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer on earth. I mean, if you're a woman under Islam, holy shit, right? But like, okay, so you're going to suffer, but eventually you go to heaven and it's great, right? So like the suffering has a point, theoretically, ideologically speaking. The thing with environmentalism is like, all right, well, you need to suffer to save the planet, right? But that's okay because you're thinking, well, at least my kids are going to have, you know, a better life. But no, like your life is going to be shit. Your children's life is going to be shit as well. Like life is going to be shit from now on for everybody. But by the way, don't have kids either. Like don't have kids. And then the next question is like, okay, so who the fuck am I saving the planet for? Like if you're saying that I shouldn't have kids, what's the point in saving the planet? Because like the planet isn't dying, right? Like the planet isn't like the spirit of Mother Gaia or something. No, like the animals will still live, even with like if global warming is real and everything, you know, raises temperature and the fish will be alive. The insects still live, right? Just because humans don't get to continue, that doesn't mean that everything dies. So like, yeah, like what's the point then? 4 billion Gates? Probably 4 billion Gates, yes. V doesn't believe in morality. I do believe in morality. I just don't believe in other people's morality. I don't like it when someone else shoves his morality up my asshole. That's the thing that I don't believe in. They literally care about rocks more than other humans. I genuinely think that they don't care about the planet either. You can't really sell me on the fact that Billion Gates cares about the planet while he's flying his private jet and enjoying his private yacht. By the way, the thing with Mona Lisa, it's not even like good art. For those of you who don't know the history of Mona Lisa, it's actually really interesting. It wasn't considered to be a good painting. In the beginning, like it was just another painting in the museum. But apparently, like, someone stole it, and they had like this whole news coverage of it, and it was basically this guy, and they took it on a train, and it you know, like newspapers around the world talked about it, and it's that event which made the Mona Lisa be popular. But if you think about it, you know, like if you are on the internet and you see a picture, like if you never saw the Mona Lisa before, right? And it just like pops up in your Google search, well, you'd be like, it's kind of nice. I mean, I get it, you know, but it's not. There's other paintings from the same era which are a lot better than the Mona Lisa. Yeah, the Mona Lisa is all about its history. It's not, because I mean, look at it, right? Hold on. My succubi are actually better than the Mona Lisa. What the fuck is with this? You know, I generally don't get it. Like it's an okay painting, but it's not like the sensation that they're trying to portray, right? I would say that due to the time period, right, drawing something like this with the tools that were available is definitely difficult, right? So it actually takes skill to draw this. But like in the same time period, there are paintings that are much better looking than this one, right? So this is why, as I said before at the beginning, it was like a painting in a museum, but it wasn't like the central attention. It wasn't like the masterpiece that it is now. So someone robbed it, like someone actually stole it, and it's got like this history about it, and that is why now it's like renowned around the world, that it's considered to be one of France's greatest treasures. Yeah, there are a lot of things from Leonardo that are more impressive, yeah. The background is more impressive than her. Yeah, I do agree, like the background is really fucking impressive. Like the background is definitely more, and you know, like back then you couldn't just drop a PNG on top. It's not like the background is done first and then you drop the PNG. I think like first they drew the woman and then they drew the background. And the thing like why it's so difficult is that you're not allowed to make a mistake. Like when you're using this type of painting, if you make even a tiny mistake, you can't remake it, right? So like it has to come out great from the beginning. Look, it's got even a little bridge here. Yeah. Like the background is really fucking impressive. I'll give them that, right? And the idea of perception, that the background is a little bit more gray, and the Mona Lisa herself is a lot more detailed and with more vibrant colors. Like it is a good painting, but again, like I wouldn't say that is the best painting that France has ever produced. And it's like it's more the history that makes it good. X-rays show a pic of a dude underneath. That would be hilarious. Show the better paintings. Let me see. A lot of them are naked, so I don't know if I can show them on YouTube. But Google Madonna Lita. Madonna Lita is also by Leonardo, and it looks a lot better. There's a dog that's upset outside, chat. It's just keeps barking. Let me see Leonardo paintings. Hold on. Anyway, artistic nudity. Yeah, theoretically, YouTube does allow that, and then you look at atheism is unstoppable. I don't even know what happened with him. He came back on YouTube, and then I think he got banned again. Like, you're not allowed to make fun of the Young Turks. But the reason he got banned from YouTube back in the day, Devon Tracy, if you guys remember him, he showed a picture of Jesus's ass from the movie The Passions of Christ. Now I do think that the picture should have fallen under YouTube's community guidelines with artistic nudity, because again, it wasn't like a porn scene with Jesus. It was like him getting ready to be crucified. And Jesus of Nazareth is just like walking towards the cross and he's butt naked, and YouTube didn't like that. So I don't really like going on YouTube's gray area where they're like, oh yeah, we allow for artists. No, you fucking don't. Shut the fuck up. It sounds so random. Dude, I'm telling you stories from the creative scene. Like behind the scenes on YouTube. What other content creators are experiencing. No, it's like from the movie, The Passions of Christ. Okay, like he showed the scene from that movie in order to make a point. And there is a scene in the movie where the actor who plays Jesus is butt naked and he's walking towards the cross. Like, it's not a scene that's supposed to be titillating in any way, shape, or form. It's a scene that's supposed to be dehumanizing, right? Like the Romans are torturing Jesus and they're stripping away his clothes in order to dehumanize him, right? Like that is the purpose of that. It's not fan service. And because he showed that on YouTube, he got his entire channel taken down. And he knows that because like they flagged the video for nudity and sexual content. Right? The thing with nude yoga being okay, like I know the meme, but like it literally says in the term of service on YouTube that you are allowed to have nude yoga. I don't know why though. I genuinely do not know why. I do think like a lot of this shit is because of the advertisers. Like YouTube probably doesn't give a fuck, but the advertisers and the credit cards are forcing. And the advertisers and the credit cards have decided that naked yoga is fine. I don't know why. It says in the TOS, like literally, if I do naked yoga and I upload it on YouTube, it's fine. Same with breastfeeding. Like if you show nipple and there's a baby, it's fine. Which again, you know, like you can understand. It's like, first of all, we don't do this in Eastern Europe, right? Like this is cultural taboo for us. Like breastfeeding in public, no. No, you schedule your time and you breastfeed at home, right? But like in America, it's not like that. In America, breastfeeding everywhere. Okay, fine, whatever. I get the argument. It's like, all right, well, the baby is starving. You need to put the tit in his mouth. Okay, fine. Even if it's in public, even if it's at the restaurant, anywhere, just go for it. But why on YouTube though, right? Like on YouTube, you're already at home, right? You're already like, why do you have to show it to the world? It makes no sense, does it? The naked yoga is so the Indians continue to use YouTube. But like, wouldn't they use it without the naked yoga though? I mean, they have political podcasts and shit. It's not like that there. I've never seen people doing that. What, in America? Breastfeeding? But just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Like, I remember, like, there were, like, huge debates about it. It's like, no, it's a woman's right to feed the titty. It's like, okay, yeah, no, sure. You know, it's kind of like burping, right? Like it's not illegal to burp or fart in public. Right? Like, if you want to blast a mean fart in public, you can. Like, it's a bodily function. It's perfectly healthy, right? If you hold it in, your belly may hurt. But it's considered impolite, right? Like, especially if you're at a restaurant. So, like, why do people do it? Like, you can go into a bathroom and do it, right? Like, you can make sure that you do it at home. Like, you can schedule so that you do it at home. Like, there's, like, really no reason why you should do it right in the middle of the open in public. It's because of medicine? No, like, this one is different. Breast examination is not against YouTube TOS. Yes, like, that is true. But, like, breast examination and breastfeeding is different, right? Because breast examination is like you're showing women how to touch themselves in order to see if they have a lump. Which is like, okay, fine. But like breastfeeding, like that is not something you need to learn. Like all women know how to do it. All babies know how to suck. It's like for thousands of years, people have done it without training. Oh my god, they breastfeed in an elevator? Can you stare though? Like, are you allowed to stare? Like, if they're going to do it in public, can you just stare? And do like the ugly ass bastard face while you're doing it? Are you allowed? Like, if you know, she has a right to do it. I have a right to stare. What about penis examination? That is a good question. I do wonder if you're allowed to show like how to check your testicles for cancer on YouTube. I'm not going to verify it. I don't want to make a video and check to see if I get banned or not. But it is a good question. Like, can you actually show a scrotum and how you're touching to see if you have testicular cancer? Remember that staring at a woman for more than 3 seconds in Sweden gets you arrested? Probably, yeah. I'd rather be around breastfeeding than diapers. I'd rather not be around either. Is breastfeeding under a burqa okay, V? I don't know. I don't think like Muslim nations have breastfeeding in public either. The idea is that it is possible to breastfeed while not in public. Like we're doing it in Eastern Europe. I don't know how we're managing, but maybe the Americans can learn from us. I don't know. Woman breastfeed a baby and it's all good. Woman breastfeeds a grown man and it's inappropriate. What? God. How do I cheat on the prostate exam? You put a marble in. If you put a marble, it will confuse the doctor. I guarantee it, right? Like if you put a marble in there, when the doctor gives you the prostate exam, he will be like, "What the fuck?" He will literally be like, asking for a second opinion. Like you may get another doctor coming in. Do you know it's actually funny? Like when you have a prostate exam, there's usually like in every hospital. Like this is something that's true. What I'm telling you, every single hospital has a doctor with a longer finger, right? Like like human beings have like fingers in different sizes. Every hospital has like a surgeon which has like the longest finger. Like this man probably has like a finger that's so fucking long it's like a Coke bottle, right? And whenever like the doctor that's like the urologist is not convinced, like he's giving you the prostate exam and it's like inconclusive, he will summon the guy with the long finger. And I want you to imagine just how miserable life is for that guy. Like every single time there's like a patient that's like inconclusive, he has to go over there and check, I'm not kidding. Like I'm genuinely talking about truth. Like this is actually happening in hospitals. Because like the thing is, if you have a patient, right, and you're feeling something but you're not sure, the other step is to give a colonoscopy. But the colonoscopy is expensive for the hospital, and it's also inconvenience for the patient. Like the patient doesn't like to have an entire hose up his ass, right? So if you can actually make sure that okay, it's not cancer or there's nothing there, that's good. So you need to get a second opinion. And again, like every single hospital has like that doctor that has like the longest fucking finger, right? And he's the one that gets summoned to push it in. Pippa showed feet and ate a spider when she reached a certain number of subs. What will you do for us when you reach 200,000 on this channel? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because then I may actually reach it. There's like another thing another thing. There's another thing which happens in Romania. We actually get to study medicine with real life patients, right? So America does medicine improperly, like you study with actors and shit. The way it works is that when you're a med student, right, you gotta know how to put a diagnosis. So the way we do it in Romania is you actually go to the patient that has the disease and you talk with them and you actually get to see the symptoms and you get to see how the disease looks like. In the United States, they have an actor, and the actor is told how to pretend that they have the disease, right? But anyway, the reason I'm saying this is that we did actually had to learn how to do a rectal exam. Okay? So if you're not lucky enough to be a patient in a public hospital in Romania, you basically sign your consent that med students are allowed to learn from you, right? So like if let's say you have like hepatitis and you're now yellow and you have like the all of the signs, you got like little red stars on your chest and you have ascites and all that shit, right? When you go to the hospital, you sign a consent form and basically students get to come and they're looking at you and they're asking you questions and you know what that is. Now the thing is, most people are fine with that because like you're helping train the next generation of doctors, right? So like if you're an old person and you have hepatitis, you may not make it, but at least you're like, okay, well these are the doctors that are going to treat my kids, so it's fine. But as you can can see, you know where this is going. Like, some of you already suspected. When you have to learn how to do a prostate exam, to show rectal, we call it. I want you to imagine like 10 people, right? You got the man sitting in the bed in a fetal position. And there's like a line of 10 students, all of them with their finger pointing towards the heaven, getting ready, you know? Oh my fucking god. I never knew how they're convincing these patients to behave this way. Like, I wouldn't do it. I would say, look, one is enough. You know, imagine that they're making like, and not to mention they're cracking jokes and stuff, but like imagine that they're having like a gun for hands, you know, like they're doing like the pistol with the finger, and they're sitting there next to the bed, like pointing it upwards, getting ready to go right in. We do have gloves though, so there was a... Yeah, pulling a finger trade. It was unpleasant. Unpleasant for the patient. Unpleasant for the student. But hey, I now know how prostate cancer feels like. So it's kind of like sand. It's hard, but it feels like sandy, you know? Yeah. A guy used to get his prostate exams live on radio, funny as hell. To be honest, it's not like the prostate exam isn't really that bad. Like if you relax, and obviously, you know, the doctor is lubed, that it shouldn't take more than a couple of seconds. But the colonoscopy is horrible. Like I've never experienced it myself, but I have seen how patients make the grimaces and the sounds. My god. Like that is difficult. That is something else entirely. You can't wear protection on your hands. It ruins the sensitivity. Fuck off, Trusty Fly. You do it without. You worked in a hospital? Yes, I finished med school. I did work in a hospital for a little bit as a microbiologist, but then I gave up and started doing YouTube. Anyway, right, you had the colonoscopy. How was it? Was it with anesthetic? In Romania, we don't use anesthetic. It hurts the kidneys and it costs money. Why use anesthetic? It's not that painful, allegedly. Just take it up the asshole. To be honest, like the doctors say that the reason they don't want to use anesthetic is that if something like really bad happens, like if you're in huge pain, they can pull it out, right? So like they don't push it all the way in. I never got one, so I don't know. Yeah, if you had it with anesthetic, then you didn't. Look, you don't really have a colonoscopy until you have one without anesthetic. Yeah, anesthetic actually does do kidney damage, right? Like the substance in the anesthetic has to be released, and it usually does liver or kidney damage. It's not severe, but it's best if you don't. Like if it can be avoided, you just don't do it. Yeah, perforated guts. Anyway, right, I'll leave it here with this beautiful mental image that I created for you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow then. And I'll have to upload one more video on my secondary channel. So hopefully I'll see you there as well. Take care.